Well, hey there, guy. What's up? Um, you know, welcome back. Today, got another video. Angus. Dun dun dun. Back working on the Angus. Mr. Angus needs to get his wiring harness finished up in this area. We gotta do that. Parts came in. Starter, alternator. I got some water pump parts, gaskets, everything else. So, we gotta do that. But first, the garage is a mess, so let's get on moving with the Impala out of the garage so we can clean up some. Like always. As always. Oh, come on, girl. Cold start. Just like that. Back the boat up B. And look, no dang old drips. Okay, so back on the wire here, we gotta lengthen up the throttle position sensor. I gotta lengthen up this cooling temp sensor for right here. Not much for that one, so that one will be relatively easy. We got this one right here, which is, oh, that's for the alternator. So yeah, we're gonna have to make that one a little bit longer. That one's for the coil pack. So really, we just gotta worry about these three last plugs. So should be relatively easy, I would hope. So I think I'm going to start with the most complicated one, which is the throttle position sensor. And I only say that because it's got 3 wires on it. So yeah, let's do it. Where's my clippers at? Right here. So if you guys have never lengthened any wires, I mean, you just got to go after it. Just clip, take your harness, give yourself enough wiggle room to work if you got to work both ends. And yeah, you want to make sure to have an assorted amount of heat shrink, fittings, more fittings, electrical tape, solder, and yeah, solder irons over there running. And then of course, wire. You're going to need wire. I'm kind of shy on my wire. I just had black left. But I gotta go dig through my box. I have a whole bunch of this stuff left over from when I depinned the harness. And that's what I'm gonna use, because why not? Get an assortment of different colors. Try to match up your colors the best you can, so that way if you ever gotta do some diagnostical stuff, you can and you're not screwing stuff up. But worst comes to worst, and you run out, you just gotta make the wire happen. Just make sure you're connecting it to the right spot where it needs to be. Well, here's where we're at. Got all that stuff extended out. Got the coil pack mounted up. Got the harnesses draped where they need to be. Throttle position sensors plugged in. Everything's ran underneath there. Went ahead and cleared off. I didn't like how I had that relay on there, so I remounted it there. Put some loom on it. Hooked up the brake booster vacuum line. And yeah, so I think now we are going to put on the accessorize. I'm actually going to start with putting the new starter on because it's here and it's somewhat up, and then I'll work on the accessorize. But new starter going in. Well, front drive accessories are all on, plumbed up. You know, 11 foot-pounds for the water pump, all of it for the bracketry for the power steering. Got the alternator on. Now what I'm working on is the power steering line. I did get the one, I think it's the return line, hooked up. That was simple, hooked right in. Maybe do something later, but for right now that's good enough. And this would work, but it's got this big kink in it, and there's no way to really twist it around and get it all finagled right, because we got to go in right down here. So what I'm going to do is, we got a short little distance between there to there. I'm actually going to take the stock one off from the 81, and we're going to reuse the one from the 02. It's kind of crudded up, chudded, but you know what? That's what I got for right now. So we're going to go with it. And if in the future it decides it wants to leak, then I guess we can deal with it at that time. But, that's what I got for right now. So when you do these, they got a little rubber gasket on the end here because they're flared different. Make sure you put the little rubber gasket back in there, otherwise you're going to get leakage all over the place. And I guess if I really wanted to, you could see maybe up over right there. It's a weird cooler. It's kind of rotted out really bad. Well, it's not leaking, but I just prefer not to put that on, so I'm not going to. So we're just going to do with what we got. Well, got the wire for the alternator, tied that into my positive. Positive's all hooked up. Was monkeying around with this line and can't get it off from the actual housing there, so gonna let that soak for a day or two and see what it does, but moved on to a couple other things. One of them being added this ground bolt here, similar to the other side. That's a factory style. Got to put a ground to here, so all I did was drilled out the hole that was already there. Added this bolt, put one of those cool little bite washers underneath this, and then a nut. And then I'm going to put my ground cable on there, and then I'm going to put another nut on top of it like that. And then we're going to run this ground cable up and over, and just, it's supposed to go here for the alternator. I'm just going to mount it from right here. This is where that weird little bracket thing for the power actually used to go, so I'm just going to reuse one of those and call her a day. Yeah, we got to do some other stuff. That's right. Got to make a bracket. Bracket that's going to hold my cable to here to here. What I come up with, where did it go? Oh, it's right here. Is I have this old thing, part of the seat, and it's got a nice little box hole in it. That's got a box on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice that edge off and then twist and bend, and then we're going to use that for bracketry. Because I can. Right? Right. So that's what I got. Cut that piece out. I drilled a hole in it so we can mount it to that. Heated it up with just my little map gas. Gave it a little twist with some crescent wrenches. And then it wasn't totally flat here and right there, so I just used my, piece of anvil and that hammer, flattened it out. So should line up pretty decent. Sit something like so. Cool. So it's about supper time. Gonna go make some dinner, and maybe we'll come back out here and start working on it again tonight. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Be back with you guys shortly. Well, there's where I'm at. Got the bracket painted. It's installed. Clips on like so. Put a little C-clip in there, and it should work. I might have to do some more adjusting, bend it down. So it's on a little bit better of an angle because I'm not quite happy with that bend, but yeah. Should work out relatively well. Fortunately, I went to go look, see if my gas pedal's in here. It's not, so I gotta find that tomorrow. Did get the headers put on while I was waiting for paint to dry. And threw the plug wires in. Put those boots on. Those are really close to those headers. There's no cutting it. I got these Moroso plug wires. They're small. They're the 7 mils. And when they're in there, you can see they're right on the header. So I'll probably take some wire, chicken wire or whatever, and get those put up a little bit nicer so they're not so gaudy. But it's going to be tomorrow's project because I ran out of dielectric grease and kind of tired. Well, we're back. Got some progress. Where do I start? Come on in, let's show you. Well, got all that buttoned up. Tubers in there. Don't like how it's in there, but it's in there. Got a Perpensantine snake belt, you know, one that goes. Had to get a custom one, loop it on there. It's a little tight. We'll see how it does. Belt did work if it went from here to there, skipping this pulley. However, we had a issue with, you know, our boom 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 thing right here. So got it looped like there. Well, it should stretch out. Probably gonna get one just a smidge bigger for just have it on the shelf. Power steering line. Nope, not coming off. I didn't want to take heat to it because I'm not really that adamant. So got the old fitting off of right there from the cooler. Had a barb on it. Snipped the rubber part. Just put a high pressure fitting on there. Good enough. What else did we get done? Yeah, I don't like this ground, how it's floppage, but I don't like how this power, how it's floppage either. I really wanted to run that back and around and tuck it in here, but want versus need, and I need to get this thing running. So, next thing I went out and got this guy, fuel line repair kit. And it's from Napa, added on stock. Same price as Dorman if you go to buy it online. And it's just a Dorman one because the sticker is, you know, coming off, and they just put a Napa one on there. Same price, surprisingly. But we got all of our fittings that we could possibly need for fuel line, whatever. And we got the tool to crimp them together. It's nice. And I guess it see, I haven't even opened it yet to see what it's all about. This side we got our hose, and looks like we got our little connectors, stabbers. Yeah. Hopefully that's enough line. Should be. If not, I guess we're gonna buy some more. So the other thing I ended up doing, I got a couple radiator hoses, upper, lower. We'll make those work. And I got a fuel filter. Now, if you guys are ever LS swapping and you decide to use like the Silverado stuff like I did, fuel filter on that's a screw-in style. You get the fittings and that kit has them. Cool. But the Impala, it's got this jobber. So it's got quick connect release fittings on it. Sits underneath. This filter's only like 12 bucks, and the one for the Silverado is like 20, 25 bucks. So I got this guy, and we're going to mount that somewhere under there for our fuel filter system. Now, I didn't do a fuel regulator because honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead, and don't know if I really need it because the fuel pump that I have puts off like 45, nope, I don't remember, 55. It puts out a lot of pieces, so I'm just gonna put it on, and if I need to put one on, they have like a Corvette style one you can get, and I'll just get that one and plug it in. But not right now. So moving on. We're getting so close to getting this thing fired up. I still got 2 weeks, so that's good. But right now I'm going to focus on getting, I think, the radiator put in there, mounted up somehow, hooked up, get that front loom all figured out, get the hoses hooked up, got to get the heater core lines hooked up because, yes, I'm going to run heater because, you know, it's Michigan, it's beautiful, it's August, but it's only like 60 degrees, and at night it gets down in the 40s, and if I drive Angus here at night, I want to have heat. So I guess I should have thought about this a little bit harder. I could have put a little valve on there to close it. Oh well, I'll just crimp it if it gets too hot. Worry about that future. Want versus need, right? Right. So let's get back to doing something. Otherwise, we're just going to stand here recording and babbling. Well, here's where we're at. Hoses for the heater core. Plumbed in. That one's a little short because I didn't have any more 3/4 inch. So that's an old one just for the time being until I get to the parts store. And I found the shroud from one of these square bodies that I have. Put that in. Got the bottom part bolted on. Top part is loosely on there. Radiator is loosely in there. And that is because I got to figure out electric fan or a fan. Might just get a mechanical one because it looks like it'll fit in there. Problem I'm worried about now is the elbow coming off of here, whatever way I go. That's going to have to get trimmed up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm kind of liking that. Maybe going mechanical and keeping it original. I don't know. But that's where they're at. Also noticed with this radiator, you have to get a couple T's because, for one, we have this port for a square body to the heater core. I think it's the lower one. So it goes from the water pump in the stock through the heater core and then back into there. I don't know if I want to tee off this lower line and have it run up there or if I want to just plug that off. Haven't made up my mind yet. Probably just going to plug it off because I want to have the sweeping swoop look. Second thing, transmission lines. I don't know if I want to plumb those in, but those are soaking to get off. Third thing, got this little guy to come off of here. Go to the overflow bottle, which that's normal. It's supposed to. Something like that. Problem's going to be is we're going to have to probably figure out something to go to bottom of the throttle body, because if you look right there, that's a steam port. That's where those steam vents for the heads mount to. So I don't know, I've seen some little like port that goes to the top part because this hose is going to be the highest point. Or maybe I'll just run it over here and put a T in there and let it do its thing to this. I don't know yet. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. Kind of just building it as it goes, and I'm surprised at how well it's going together, to be honest. Also, what we got to do is I started down right here. There is the vent for the fuel line. Decided I'm just going to leave that in there because why not? We're going to run something from there kind of up and over, and we're going to plug it into our purge solenoid because, yeah, why not? I really was hoping for my intake for the air to come off of here, go over here and come down here into this giant cavity down here, because I feel like that's going to be nice and cool and there's plenty of room. It's a void, but that's going to be, I think, a lot more modification than I want, and quite honestly, probably over here is going to be the better of the option, although that radiator hose is going to be in the way. Dang it. I don't know yet. More to come. So this was a lengthier video, I suppose. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to keep working, but I'm going to end this video here. Get it edited up. Get it posted up. Continue working. Got to do cooling fan. Got to do, what else do we got to do? Fuel line, fuel line. And hook up the transmission. Do the exhaust. Getting close.
Battery is
Getting close.
empty. Time to recharge.
Blue Teeth is talking to me. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for watching. Almost at 500 subscribers. Appreciate everyone. See you next time.